Hello everyone and welcome to Action RPG Build Guide Edition. Today I'm ready to drop on you my newly refreshed Deathblow Barbarian. This build is of course a blast to play and can push endgame content. As always, I will cover every single facet of the build. Everything is timestamped in the description below if you need to bounce around. Let's not waste any time and jump right into this. Starting off with some gameplay. Now the skills I'm using for this Deathblow Barbarian are, you guessed it, Deathblow, Triple Shout, Steel Grasp, and Double Swing. And pretty simple gameplay. You are going to pull all the enemies in with Steel Grasp. And you will see, so let me see if I can get this big group right here. Come on, come and get me. And then you are going to Deathblow, and then you will use Double Swing when you do no longer have Deathblow or it's on cooldown. And then of course for support, you are using Triple Shout. At time of recording, level 96, and you will see we are currently fighting enemies at 115. So these are 115 level enemies in Nightmare Dungeon 61. We're starting to push that number higher and higher. Come here, let me get them all. Survivability feels pretty good. We are fortified most of the time. Actually, pretty much all of the time. Grab them. Come on, there you go. All right, give it a couple more seconds of fighting. Triple Shout. Pull them in, Deathblow, and then Double Swing, Double Swing. Oh man, the Steel Grasp is so satisfying. Very fun skill to use. Okay, I think you get the idea. Let's fight the boss. Blood Bishop, level 115. This is the same boss from that dungeon. As you can see, he is not going to survive this fight. And you are dead. Booyah. Let me show you how to recreate this build. Starting off with our skill tree. Now, I didn't even mention it during the gameplay portion. We do not use a generator for this build. It isn't needed. So these first 2 points in a lunging strike, I just put them there. But again, you're not going to use it. Unfortunately, it is just a waste. You want 5 points into Double Swing, and you want to take Furious Double Swing. This is going to help get your berserking going. Then again, this is a Triple Shout build, so you want to take Rallying Cry with Tactical Rallying Cry, 1 point into Challenging Shout, 1 point into War Cry, 1 point into Powerful War Cry. Up here, you want 1 into Presence, 3 into Vigor. And down here, 3 into Voice, 3 into Yell. This is going to boost your shouts. But not just that, you need to boost your Berserk. So you want 3 into Resistance and 3 into Fury. So now you're boosting your Berserk when you're berserking and your shouts. As you come down, this is where the bread and butter of the build is. You want 3 points into Fighter, 3 into Mercy, 5 into Deathblow, and 1 into Fighter's Deathblow. This is going to help you with your Fury because, again, we are not using a generator. Then 1 point into Steel Grasp, 1 point into Warrior Steel Grasp to get that extra charge. That's how I'm able to use it all the time. You want 1 point into Thick Skin, 3 into Counteroffensive, and 2 into Defensive Stance. I wish I can get 3 here, but we were off by 1 point. As you come down, we are not using an ultimate for this build. It is not required. 3 points into Heavy-Handed, and then your last point into Unconstrained to further boost your Berserk. Those are the skills. Now let's talk technique. For this build, like 99% of Barbarian builds, you want to take Two-Handed Axe as your technique. 15% increased damage to vulnerable enemies. There are very rare times you will not take this expertise. So just know for this build, it's no different. Make sure you take Two-Handed Axe. Now let's talk Paragon boards. I have 7 newly min-maxed, beautiful Paragon boards for this build. And if you have questions, if you don't understand something, second link in the description is the 4,000-word updated Deathblow written guide. This YouTube video will not always be fully up to date, but the written guide should be. Second link in the description, take you over to Icy Veins. It is great, and I bet it'll answer all of your questions. Okay, here we go. Board. We're going to go one at a time and give you a second to screenshot it. That is something that's been requested. So our starting board, we are using Weapon Master. We are using Weapon Master. Okay. Board number 2. This is Decimator. We are using Marshall. We are using Marshall. Got it. We are now moving to the right. Board number 3. And this is Ambidextrous. All right. Board number 3. We are then headed up to board number 4. This is Flawless Technique. And this is Mortal Draw. We're using Mortal Draw. And then we are headed to the left. This is board number 5, which connects from board number 2. And this is Weapons Master. And we are using Territorial. Moving to the left again. 7 boards total. This is Bone Breaker. This is Bone Breaker. And we are using Exploit. And the last and final Paragon board coming down right here. This is Warbringer. And for the glyph, we are using Wrath. Those are the Paragon boards. Moving over to everyone's favorite gear, starting with gems and hearts. Now for our weapon, we are using an emerald, best in slot in almost 99.9% of cases, critical strike damage to vulnerable enemies. For our armor, I'm leaning into damage reduction for this build instead of life. In this case, I feel like it's better. That being said, sapphire and rubies, they are very, very close, kind of a personal preference. Now, when we're talking hearts, made the decision to not use the barber in any builds. I'm trying not to build around the barber because then come season 2, the build will be dead because, you know, the barber will no longer be available. That doesn't mean you can't use it or there's anything wrong with using it. I'm just not going to recommend it, if that makes sense. We are using speed. This is help with knockdown to really help push end game content for survivability. Revenge. This is going to give you damage suppression and explosion. And we are using fate. We have such a high critical strike chance that with that 85% crit damage is just absolutely huge for pushing your damage numbers. Okay. So those are the gems and the hearts. Again, use barber if you want. Now, when you're looking at aspects and uniques, there is a best in slot, and that is Ancient's Oath. This is great for your steel grasp. It is not absolutely required. So you didn't have Ancient's Oath. Could you run this build? Yes. That being said, it is a best in slot. So just throwing that out there. But again, it does not kill the build if you don't have it. All right. Now we're going to go through each aspect and you can see what we're working with. For Helm, we're using a looting aspect. Gives us some unstoppable. For chest armor, we're getting our Fortify generation off Fury generation. For our gloves, bleeding, chance to stun. Pants, boost in armor. Boots, our weapon mastery skills give us a boost. We are using Death Blow, Steel Grasp, both weapon mastery skills. We'll do weapons last. Amulet, each point of Purify you generate, Fury you generate, while Maximum Fury grants your core skill increased damage. This actually really helps us with our double swing damage. Ring 1, Fury generation with shouts. Ring 2, cooldown reduction of Fury. Now, for our weapons, like I said, we are using Ancient's Oath. For our other two-handed, we are using critical strikes for core skills, boost attack speed. So you're going to be using double swing. You're going to get a huge boost to your attack speed. For our one-handed, skills deal increased damage based upon primary resource. And then for your other one you're using, for your other dual wielding, whenever you deal direct damage while berserking, you inflict bleed. Those are the aspects, gems, and hearts. Last but not least, let's talk priority stats. And once again, if you want to see a longer list of priority stats in order, second link in the description for the written guide on Icy Veins. All right, for helmets, cooldown reduction, ranks of death blow. This is going to be on your helmet. Total armor and strength, chest, triple damage reduction with armor, gloves, crit chance, double swing, attack speed, strength. For pantalones, triple damage reduction with total armor. Boots, movement speed, damage reduction while injured, fury cost reduction, strength. Amulet, you want cooldown reduction, ranks of heavy-handed passive, ranks of weapon mastery skills, and double damage reduction while injured. You could pull this amulet. Congratulations. For our rings, the exact same. Vulnerable damage, crit chance, crit damage, max life. For a bludgeoning weapon, and all the weapons are exactly the same. Vulnerability damage, crit damage, strength, damage to close. It's the exact same for all 4 weapons. And there's a lot in there, the weapons that can help you as well. Damage to bleeding, damage to close, core skill damage. A lot of that stuff will go in there, but these are the core 4. Those are the priority stats. All right, everyone, that's the build guide. What do you think of my new Death Blow Barbarian? Is there anything I missed? Is there anything I can do to push us to the next level? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. 2 asks at the end of the video. Ask number 1, I'm hoping today is the day I have earned your subscription. Hoping today is the day you make the decision to push that little red button. I would really appreciate it, but of course, only if you think I've earned it. Ask number 2, check out my Patreon. Thank you to the first 82 members that have signed up. Become an instant ARPG VIP and get Patreon exclusive content at the first link in the description. I get asked all the time, Aaron, what is the best way to support? And Patreon is it. Again, 11 fully updated builds on Icy Veins. That's the second link in the description. That's all I've got. Hopefully you're entertained or at least learned something. Aaron, out.